Hi folks, this is my statement to the NHS and also to the Tribunal and even possibly the Care Quality Commission regarding why I believe I have grounds to make a civil claim against the NHS for false imprisonment regarding my Section 2 and now unfortunately, as predicted, a Section 3. Hi, my name is Benjamin Thacker and I'm a writer, musician, blogger, author and campaigner, and I am known online through my creative fields as Ben Westwood. I have been detained under the Mental Health Act, and after being detained under Section 2, I am now being detained under Section 3. I believe this to be illegal, incompetent and a breach of Article 5 of the Human Rights Act 1998, which is the right to liberty and security. Before my detainment, I made some out-of-the-ordinary claims about being a creative artist that had his content from a book that I'd written completely reformatted into videos and posted online, and possibly even more books. I believe this to have been done by an international group of people, of which some involved were my neighbours and others were based in and around the Brighton and Bristol areas. I believe that this group are highly organised and often specifically targeted vulnerable creatives and entrepreneurs with a known lack of support network. I also believe that as part of this, my devices were hacked, and both online and in the outside world, I was constantly stalked over several periods. Over several periods during my detainment, I have been told directly or indirectly that what I am saying is in my head and part of a schizophrenic illness, when despite an array of requests to the police to take statements, it has never happened, and every request seems to hit an immediate roadblock. These claims that I have made have not yet either been verified or dismissed by technological or IT experts, nor experienced police detectives, which gives a biased and uneducated diagnosis by professional clinicians that impact my detainment. It is important to note that it is not lawful to detain someone because of an unusual belief, idea or theory, even if others think that it is paranoid, unless that belief is part of a broader mental illness that is significantly impairing the person's safety or functioning. I have neither seen nor heard any acceptance of any possible reality-based concerns from clinicians such as the ones that are involved in my case and those that they send to evaluate me. Reality-based concerns include issues such as the fact that many people do experience online harassment or content theft, and that these things actually do happen. Creatives and entrepreneurs might be targeted, especially if their ideas attract attention or competition. Even if there is no external evidence, yet the person is absolutely convinced, despite reassurance and technical checks, clinicians might consider a paranoid or psychotic process, example, persecutory delusion. Still, this alone doesn't justify detention unless it leads to a serious distress, organisation, self-neglect or risk. Context matters. Whilst creatives and entrepreneurs often think differently and notice patterns others miss, along with working on innovative and sometimes eccentric ideas, which means they are often alone, hyper-focused and immersed in online worlds, this can mimic unusual thinking, but it isn't automatically pathological. Clinicians sometimes misinterpret creative ideation or tech awareness as paranoia, especially if the person challenges authority or systems. When sectioning becomes inappropriate, if the person is rationally describing plausible events, functioning well, such as writing, working or managing self-care, and there is no clear risk, or if the detention is used to control or silence rather than help, if that happened, it could fall under false imprisonment or breach of Article 5 of the European Convention of Human Rights, the right to liberty. Although sectioning might be justified if the person is so distressed that they cannot eat, sleep or function, or they threaten harm to themselves or others because of the belief, or cannot care for themselves safely, Even then, the doctors are obliged to use the least restrictive option, voluntary treatment or community care first. A creative or entrepreneurial person should not be sectioned merely for believing they've been hacked or that others use their ideas online unless that belief causes serious dysfunction to impairment or risk and is not grounded in reality. It should be treated first as a potential cyber or privacy issue. Then, if no evidence supports it and distress escalates, explored as a possible mental health symptom with respect and without coercion. So to cut a long story short, clinicians should be taking an investigative approach to this first before doing anything. I'm going to leave it there because I'm not sure what all these noises and rattles are about, and I'd like to find out. So see you soon, folks. Over and out.